Hey, what's up, YouTube? This your boy Rubber Band Trades. I'm back again with another trade recap for today, April 7th, 2026. All right, y'all. Yes, so it's Tuesday, so we did not do, we did not get a trade recap in yesterday. I traded the Sunday night session, and because of that, I was already up pretty much on the day, so I kind of skipped Monday altogether. Which was a good idea because the session was extremely choppy. So I was glad I was able to avoid the choppy session and come in here and get an A+ session in. So again, this is for April 7th, 2026, and so coming into today's market open, I noticed that one, we opened up below the ORG, and that is the opening range gap, and that takes the high, or I'm sorry, that takes the low from the previous day and the open from the current day and mark out a gap. So if you see right there on my 15-minute chart, that's that green shaded box on the 15-minute chart. That's my middle chart right there, and that's the ORG. So it's usually a strong, key level on the day I like to use. If we open up below it, and let's say we reject it, kind of like we did today, then my bias is bearish. If we open up above it and then bounced at it, obviously then my bias will be bullish. So coming into today, I had a loose bearish bias. The reason it was loose is because we did have a 1 hour bullish fair value gap and a 4 hour bullish fair value gap. Um, to the downside that could provide some type of bounce here. And being that, again, we in the headline driven market, some type of news could have came in today to cause us to, make that move higher from here. So I did have previous day high marked out as a potential target. Well, actually, I had the daily open marked out as a potential target. Um, that was right next to previous week high, and then pre-market highs up there right before previous day high. So I had some bullish targets in mind, but my bearish targets were the one that got hit today. So we're gonna focus on that. So again, coming into today's open, you see price made a move higher into the ORG. Then we started rejecting. So here I'm thinking, one, I like the displacement lower because one, we displaced through Asia's low. So that told me that our draw on liquidity was lower from here. So right there, I'm drawing out my standard deviation, which again is showing potential targets and reversal areas. So when I drew it out on the 3 minute, it showed that we could get a potential reversal here. Um, to possibly make a retracement to potentially go lower. So again, my main TP to the bearish for the bearish move would have been previous day low at 23,981. So right now I'm just mapping out all my levels. Price is making a strong move to that liquidity target. Right about this time, I am slightly annoyed because one, this seemed as though the market was just moving without me. It seemed as though we were going to go take that previous day low. That's the yellow line right there again on my right side chart. So when we caught this bounce, which is at the midpoint of the 4 hour fair value gap, I was liking my odds for a potential short down to that previous day low. So right there, I'm just drawing out all my fair value gaps, all my zones, just so I know, where I would like to enter in if price was to make this retracement, before hitting that previous day low. So right along in here, pretty much just waiting. There's really nothing to do. Um, we're already past the 10 o'clock open. So we had the 10 o'clock open up near a 5-minute fair value gap, so that area also looked pretty clean for a retracement if we got that move up higher before potentially going lower. So I really liked how this trade setup was forming. It was pretty much giving me everything I like. Even right here on the 15-minute, it showed that that 15-minute fair value gap is right at the 50% mark of the initial move down. So this New York session move down, 50% would it be right near my entry here at 130. So the reason I put my entry right at the beginning of that 15-minute gap, simply because we've been, in this market, a lot of times we don't even hit the midpoint of the gap for a precise entry. So, being that, I knew that this tape could flip at any point. I did want to get my entry on a light tap of that 15-minute gap. So as you can see, I set my sell limits on all of the accounts to tap me in right there. And right about this time, we got really, really close. And I'm just like, man, like, why is price just BSing right here? Let's go ahead and tap me in. So we got tapped in right there. We started getting some nice displacement lower. Initially, I'm setting my buy limits to come off at the low right before previous day low. So that's pretty much my final target on this trade. And right around this time, man, we're just sitting here watching it all play out. I really like this displacement, so I started moving my profit to break even. Again, this is how we protect profits in the trade. So I moved to break even on my fundeds. I kept my eval out of break even just to, you know, I guess keep up the honesty of this trade. Again, on the eval, I'm just trying to pass it. I'm not really worried about collecting daily funds, but on that funded, I did want to move to break even. So right along in here, price went down to a low. Again, that's where I moved to break even once we break through a low, but then we started popping back above it. It was giving me a little anxiety along this level because I honestly felt like we should get that move down, and boom, as you can see right there, I did get stopped at break even though. And however, I did re-enter right here. So I took this as just another rebalance before the move lower. So I did re-enter on this trade. So to me, this trade I did was still intact. Previous day low was still open. We're still rejecting this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. To me, this trade is still good to go. That's why we re-entered right there. So right now we're just waiting for more displacement to come through. And honestly, hold on. I think on that retracement into my break even, there was news coming out about Trump issues with Iran, and because of that, that's why we got that weird spike right there. And then just more news started coming out about Trump potentially he said eliminating the honestly, I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to get into it, but just know Trump was doing a lot of talking throughout this trade. That's why I was more keen to go to break even. I was also more open to taking profits at certain levels. Like right here, I wanted to take a contract off, and that was honestly at the midpoint of that 15-minute gap right there. So I wanted to take a contract off right there. However, price looked like it was trying to give us a little bounce. I believe I got stopped at break even on this trade. Yeah, see, more news is coming in, kicking me out of this trade. However, I did still believe we could go hit previous day low. And because of that, I also re-entered this trade again, guys. So look, if the trade idea is still valid, we're going to re-enter. And good thing, because this was the displacement that we needed for this trade, and then our trade idea finally started working. So guys, just I hope you take that from this trade recap. Again, if the trade idea is still valid, meaning those targets haven't been hit, then we can still possibly go hit those targets. And that's what kept me locked into this trade idea, and that's how I made some money today. So today was a good trading day, as you can see right here. I'm setting my limits to come off right here below this 15-minute gap, or I'm sorry, at the one standard deviation. And look, we actually got stopped out again. That's crazy. So we got stopped out again at break even, but I re-entered again. I still had faith and confidence this trade would hit, and because of that, we was able to bank on these profits. So honestly, great trading day. Um, Previous day low was the target, and we hit all levels going there. So again, if you guys like the education you're getting in this video, you guys like the trades that you're seeing, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe. And again, man, we're gonna come at you with way more videos in the future, breaking down strategies, breaking down psychology. And I appreciate y'all for sticking with me on this journey. And hey, y'all watch the rest of this trade play out. Peace.